Separating modules into different files. So far, all the examples in this chapter defined multiple modules in one file. When modules get large, you might want to move their definitions to a separate file to make the code easier to navigate. For example, we can take the code from listing 717 and move the front of house module to its own file in the source directory called frontofhouse.rs by changing the crate root file so it contains the code shown in listing 721. In this case, the crate root file is source/librs, but this procedure also works with binary crates whose crate root file is main. Mod front of house semicolon pub use crate colons front of house colons hosting semicolon. Pub function eat at restaurant hosting colons add to waitlist 3 times. So there's now a directory called front of house, and oh wait, I think that's what they're going to say to do next. Spoiler alert, you can in fact create a directory for a module, and then submodules can be files in that directory, such as hosting.ars. Or they could be, if they have submodules, they could be directories of their own with their submodules inside, and the module proper, which in this case is front of house, you can have code for that inside the front of house directory listed as mod.rs. And front of house rs gets the definitions from the body of the front of house module as shown in listing 722. So this is the file front of house rs, and I've sort of gone ahead and you know what? I don't see it. Pub mod hosting. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm ahead. They're going to tell us to put hosting in its own file as well. So that means that we will have pub mod hosting semicolon in front of house, and then pub mod hosting will just have pub function add to waitlist. That was a lot. Okay, so using a semicolon after mod front of house rather than using a block tells Rust to load the contents of the module from another file with the same name as the module. To continue with our example and extract the hosting module to its own file as well, we'll change front of house to contain only the declaration of the hosting module. Right, so that's sort of what we've got here. It's no longer called front of house because now it's in the front of house directory, and then it is just called mod, and the only code it's got is, whoop, didn't see that coming. I don't know if you can hear my CPU whirl up because of Electron. Yeah. So the only thing front of house had in it before was a nested module hosting, and now that's in its own file. Okay. Pub mod hosting. Yeah. Okay, then we create a front of house directory in the source directory and a file hosting in the front of house directory to contain the definitions made in the hosting module, which is public function add to waitlist. The module tree remains the same, and the function calls in Eat at Restaurant will work without any modification, even though the definitions live in different files. This technique lets you move modules to new files as they grow in size. Note that the pub use crate front of house hosting statement in lib also hasn't changed, nor does use have any impact on what files are compiled as part of the crate. The mod keyword declares modules, and Rust looks in a file with the same name as the module for the code that goes into that module. Summary. Rust lets you organize your packages into crates and your crates into modules, so you can refer to items defined in one module from another module. You can do this by specifying absolute or relative paths. These paths can be brought into scope with a use statement, so you can use a shorter path for multiple uses of the item in that scope. Module code is private by default, but you can make definitions public by adding the pub keyword. In the next chapter, we'll look at some collection data structures in the standard library that you can use in your neatly organized code.